should. He joined our program after completing his undergraduate studies at Pepperdine University. Miles will be headed back home to Texas to join, not surprisingly, the EY Assurance team in Houston. Miles.
Good afternoon, everyone. I want to start with a quick explanation, if that's okay with you. My communications professor last semester told us that the most important thing to do when talking to a large group of people is eye contact. And obviously, the worst thing that you could do is wear sunglasses to a commencement address. However, I will say, some of you can probably see the scratches on the right side of my face, and my right eye is swollen completely shut. And so for my sake and for yours, because you have to look at me, I'm going to keep them on. But in all seriousness, it is such an honor to be able to stand up here and to speak on behalf of some of the most great individuals that I've ever met. Now personally, I know that my experience here at USC does not accurately represent the experience that everyone else has had. However, academically speaking, I can confidently say that in relation to my classmates, I represent the average student. But luckily here, everyone is quite brilliant, so I don't think that representation is too bad. But with that, today I hope to paint you a picture of what the average student of what this past year has looked like at USC to the average Mac DNA, and MBT student. And I will do this in 4 key elements. The first of which is recruitment. Now, some of our incredibly astute classmates actually came into grad school with jobs already lined up. However, believe me when I say that the rest of us were truly the lucky ones, as we were given the distinct privilege of giving up 2 months of our social lives for recruitment in efforts to meet every accountant in Southern California. I think I speak for us all when I say that we're really going to miss the rush of that late night run to Staples to get resume paper. You know, because printing paper is way too thin to print things on, and nothing shows the recruiters that we care like giving them our resume on thick paper. But in reality, I can confidently say that USC offers one of, if not the greatest recruiting experience in the entire country, as we're given ample opportunities to meet, to learn from, and to pick the brains of those who we truly aspire to be like one day. The second element is our classes. From sifting through the ASC codification and the tax codes, to reading random Wall Street Journal articles that somehow have to do with fair value, oftentimes our classwork seemed a little bit tedious. However, not everyone can say that they're being taught by former Big Four partners or world-class accounting and tax researchers. And on top of that, we were able to hear from Andy Fastow and Matt Gless, fallen CFOs who really wanted to share their stories with us. And I think that's pretty cool. So in 10 to 20 years' time, when we're still applying what we've learned here at USC, and we're still not even close to as successful as the Laurie Smiths or the Clive Lennoxes of the world, I hope we can remember that it was these same professors who helped set us up for our success. And in contrast, if in 10 to 20 years, one of us happens to find ourselves standing in front of a company board, and an executive stands up and says, "You are an effing genius," similar to what happened to Mr. Fastow, I hope it doesn't go to our head, because we're headed to prison. What we've learned in the classroom has helped shape our careers, and it's helped shape us. Cherish that. The third element is social gatherings. Now, contrary to popular belief, I can say that not all accountants are boring. And I think that our class is a pretty good example of that. We gathered to tailgate the blue blood USC football team. But don't worry, parents, we always made sure to post up right in front of the accounting building. You know, just in case we would rather go study than watch us lose another tough game. And we enjoyed the Marshall Mixers with MBA students, events that were set up with great intent of meeting some of our peers in the business school, but in reality just turned into an all-out brawl over who was going to get the 3 grilled cheese sandwiches that they brought out at a time. Beyond academics, I can confidently say that one of the most valuable things that USC offers is the relationships that we've made with each other. Those who populate some of our fondest memories and who we know will continue to support us and stand in our corner in each step of our careers. And lastly is graduation. Here we are. It seems like just yesterday we were awkwardly meeting at orientation while all the summer intensive kids just talked about what bars they went to last weekend. But regardless of the road that we took to get here, we made it. And whether you crushed every class and are leaving here with a 4.0, or you just squeaked by with a 3.01, it doesn't matter. You've earned your degree, and that diploma is going to look just as good hanging on the wall. So in my eyes, today is a day of celebration. For us, it's this. Celebrating our achievements as recipients of a master's degree from the greatest university in the world. And we're also pretty pumped that we're done with homework forever too. Parents, it's celebrating your children, as their upbringing helped shape them to become who they are today. And we're also really close to being off your payroll, I promise. And to the faculty, staff, and professors, it's celebrating another year in the books and one step closer to retirement. Your dedication to your craft should be celebrated. But I believe that whenever there's reason for celebration, there's always even more reason to be thankful. So thank you to our parents, our families, and friends for the prayers and the words of affirmation, for the money transfers when our accounts were getting kind of low, for the care packages, the phone calls, and everything in between. And to our faculty, staff, and administration, thank you for taking the chance on us, for not only pouring into our lives, but for pouring into not only pouring into our minds, but for pouring into our lives as well. We are all a product of your hard work and dedication, and we are each better in some way because of you. And lastly, thank you for letting me take you on the journey of an average student who has been blessed beyond belief. If it's okay with you, I'd like to close with a quote from one of my most eloquently spoken and beloved classmates, Cody Tom. It's a mantra. It's all of our mottos, and it's the grade that we aspire to get in every class that we take. Students, could you join me? Hey! Thank you so much. Congratulations once more, and always fight on.